What if I told you that a 67-year-old retired schoolteacher from Ohio discovered something in her own kitchen that made her cardiologist do a double take during her routine checkup? Her name is Margaret, and what happened to her blood test results after just 7 days of mixing two simple ingredients together is something her doctor said he rarely sees in patients her age. But here is the thing. This is not some miracle cure. This is not magic. And I am definitely not here to tell you to throw away your medications. What I am going to share with you today is based on actual research, real science, and the experiences of people just like you and me who are looking for natural ways to support what our bodies are already trying to do. So if you have ever worried about your circulation, if you have ever looked down at your legs and noticed those little spider veins getting worse, if you have ever felt that heavy, tired feeling in your feet by the end of the day, then you are going to want to stay with me for every single minute of this video, because what Margaret found out and what researchers have been quietly studying for years might just change the way you think about two ingredients you can probably find in your home right now. Let me take you back to where this all started. Margaret had been dealing with what her doctor called sluggish circulation for years. You know the feeling. Cold hands and feet, even in summer. That pins and needles sensation when she sat too long, and those blood pressure numbers just kept creeping up, no matter how many medications they adjusted. She told me she felt like her blood had turned into thick syrup, trying to push through old garden hoses. Her exact words. Now her husband Richard was dealing with his own issues. At 71, his doctor had him on blood thinners after a minor scare a few years back. He was always worried about what he ate, what supplements he took, and was terrified of making things worse. So when Margaret came across some information about black seed oil and its traditional uses, she was skeptical, very skeptical. But here is what caught her attention, and honestly, what caught mine when I started researching this. Black seed oil, which comes from a little flowering plant called Nigella Sativa, has been used for over 3,000 years. 3,000 years. We are talking about ancient Egyptian times. In fact, they actually found black seeds in King Tut's tomb. The ancient Egyptians believed so strongly in this oil that they wanted it with them in the afterlife. Now I know what you are thinking. Just because something is old does not mean it works. And you are absolutely right to be skeptical. But here is where it gets really interesting. Modern scientists have been studying a compound inside black seed oil called Thymoquinone, and what they have found has gotten the attention of researchers at some of the most respected medical institutions in the world. In laboratory studies, Thymoquinone has shown the ability to affect how blood coagulates. One study published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences found that this compound can influence something called factor XA in the blood coagulation cascade. Now, let me explain that in plain English, because I had to look this up myself. Your blood has a whole system designed to form clots when you get a cut. That is a good thing. You do not want to bleed forever from a paper cut. But sometimes, especially as we get older, this system can get a little overactive. The blood gets thicker, stickier, and does not flow as smoothly as it should. Thymoquinone appears to help keep this system balanced, not by completely stopping clotting, which would be dangerous, but by helping maintain what researchers call normal coagulation parameters. But here is something even more fascinating that I have to tell you about, and this might be the most important part of what black seed oil does. It involves something called nitric oxide. Now, if you have never heard of nitric oxide, let me explain why this tiny molecule is so incredibly important for your circulation, especially after 60. Nitric oxide is produced naturally by the cells that line the inside of your blood vessels. These cells are called endothelial cells, and they form a thin layer coating the interior of every artery and vein in your body. When your endothelial cells release nitric oxide, it signals the smooth muscle surrounding your blood vessels to relax. When they relax, your blood vessels widen. When your blood vessels widen, blood flows through more easily. Your heart does not have to work as hard. Your blood pressure naturally comes down, and oxygen and nutrients can reach every part of your body more efficiently. Here is the problem. As we age, our bodies produce less and less nitric oxide. By the time you reach 60, your nitric oxide production may have dropped significantly compared to when you were younger. This is one of the reasons why circulation problems become more common as we get older. It is not just about cholesterol or plaque. It is also about this critical molecule that helps keep your blood vessels flexible and open. And this is where black seed oil becomes really interesting. A study published in Phytotherapy Research in 2022 looked at people who had at least one risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Half of them took black seed oil and half took a placebo. After 2 months, the researchers measured something called flow-mediated dilation. This is basically a test of how well your blood vessels can relax and expand when they need to. The results were remarkable. The people taking black seed oil showed a nearly 3% improvement in their blood vessels' ability to dilate. The placebo group showed less than 1%. But here is the really exciting part. The researchers also measured nitric oxide levels in the blood. The black seed oil group showed an increase of nearly 5 micromoles per liter. The placebo group showed less than 1. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that black seed oil may actually help your body produce more of the very molecule that keeps your blood vessels relaxed and flexible. This is not just about thinning the blood. This is about supporting the fundamental mechanism that allows blood to flow freely through your body. Now, let me tell you about the second ingredient Margaret used. And this one addresses a problem that affects a shocking number of people over 60, often without them even knowing it. Epsom salt. Now, Epsom salt is not actually salt at all. It is magnesium sulfate. And magnesium, as it turns out, is something that a huge portion of people over 60 are not getting enough of. Let me share some facts about magnesium that really opened my eyes. First, magnesium is involved in over 300 different enzyme reactions in your body. 300. It affects your muscles, your nerves, your heart rhythm, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and yes, your circulation. Second, research published in scientific journals has shown that as we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food. At the same time, certain medications that are commonly prescribed to older adults, like diuretics and some blood pressure medications, can actually deplete magnesium from your body. Third, and this is the part that really got my attention, mild magnesium deficiency often has symptoms that people dismiss as just normal aging. Think about this for a moment. Do you ever get leg cramps at night? Magnesium deficiency is one of the most common causes. Do your hands or feet sometimes feel numb or tingly? Low magnesium can cause that. Do you feel tired even when you have slept enough? Magnesium plays a key role in energy production. Do you have trouble sleeping through the night? Magnesium is essential for relaxing both muscles and the nervous system. Do you sometimes feel anxious or on edge for no clear reason? Magnesium deficiency can affect your mood and stress response. Here is the thing. Most routine blood tests do not even check magnesium levels, and even when they do, the test measures the magnesium in your blood, not the magnesium stored in your cells and bones. You can have perfectly normal blood magnesium levels while actually being deficient at the cellular level. Studies suggest that magnesium deficiency is common in adults over 60. Some researchers believe it may affect as many as half of older adults in developed countries. Now, here is how magnesium specifically relates to your circulation. Magnesium helps your blood vessels relax. Remember how I talked about nitric oxide helping blood vessels dilate? Well, magnesium works alongside that process. It acts as a natural calcium blocker in your muscle cells. See, calcium causes muscles to contract. Magnesium helps them relax. When you do not have enough magnesium, calcium can dominate, causing muscles to stay tense, including the smooth muscles surrounding your blood vessels. Tense blood vessels mean restricted blood flow. Restricted blood flow means your heart has to work harder, and your extremities, your hands and feet and legs, may not get the circulation they need. This is why some people notice that their leg cramps improve dramatically when they increase their magnesium intake. The muscle finally has what it needs to relax properly. When you soak in warm water with Epsom salt, some of that magnesium can be absorbed through your skin. The warm water also helps by itself. It causes your blood vessels to dilate, which improves circulation to your lower extremities. And the relaxation you feel is not just psychological. The magnesium is actually helping your nervous system calm down. So now you can see why Margaret decided to combine these two ingredients. Black seed oil works from the inside, potentially supporting nitric oxide production, helping maintain healthy blood coagulation, and providing antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits. and Epsom salt working from the outside, delivering magnesium through the skin, helping muscles and blood vessels relax, and improving circulation to the legs and feet. Together, they address circulation from multiple angles. So what exactly did Margaret do? She started taking a small amount of black seed oil, about half a teaspoon, in the morning. And in the evening, she would soak her feet and lower legs in a warm bath with 2 cups of Epsom salt for about 20 minutes. She did this every single day for 1 week. Now let me be very clear about something before I continue. Margaret was not on blood thinners. She checked with her doctor before starting anything new. And that is exactly what you should do too, especially if you take any medications. Black seed oil may enhance the effects of blood-thinning medications, which could increase bleeding risk. This is not something to mess around with. Richard, Margaret's husband, actually did not try this particular combination because of his medications. Instead, he just did the Epsom salt foot soaks, which his doctor said was fine. So, what happened after 7 days? Margaret had a previously scheduled appointment with her cardiologist. It was just a routine checkup, nothing special. They did blood work like they always do. When her doctor came back with the results, he had this puzzled look on his face. Her blood viscosity numbers, which measure how thick and sticky your blood is, had improved noticeably from her last test 3 months earlier. Now her doctor was quick to point out that one test does not prove anything. There could be other factors. Maybe she was more hydrated. Maybe it was just normal variation. But Margaret felt different too. That heavy, tired feeling in her legs had gotten better. Her feet were not as cold. She even noticed the color in her lower legs looked healthier. And here is something else she noticed that she was not expecting. Those nighttime leg cramps that had been waking her up 2 or 3 times a week? They stopped. Completely. She told me she had not slept that well in years. Was it the black seed oil? The Epsom salt? The combination? Does the magnesium help with the cramps? Or just a coincidence? Honestly, we cannot say for certain, and anyone who tells you they know for sure is not being honest with you. But here is what the research does tell us. A meta-analysis, which is a study that looks at many other studies combined, found that black seed supplementation may help lower both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Multiple studies have shown effects on cholesterol levels, and research continues to explore its effects on blood vessel health. The Thymoquinone in black seed oil appears to work as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound. Inflammation in your blood vessels can make them stiff and narrow. By potentially reducing that inflammation, blood may flow more easily. And Epsom salt baths have been studied for their effects on magnesium levels and relaxation. While scientists debate exactly how much magnesium gets absorbed through the skin, many people report noticeable improvements in how their legs and feet feel. Now, I want to share something important with you. If you are thinking about trying this, there are some things you absolutely need to know. First, if you are on any blood-thinning medication like warfarin, aspirin therapy, or any anticoagulant, you must talk to your doctor before trying black seed oil. This is not optional. This is critical. The combination could increase your bleeding risk to dangerous levels. Second, if you have surgery planned, stop using black seed oil at least 2 weeks before. Again, because of its effects on blood coagulation. Third, if you take blood pressure medication, be aware that both black seed oil and magnesium may have blood pressure lowering effects. You do not want your pressure to drop too low. Monitor it and keep your doctor informed. Fourth, start with very small amounts. Some people are sensitive to black seed oil and can experience digestive upset. A 1/4 teaspoon to start is plenty. Fifth, when buying black seed oil, look for cold-pressed organic options. The Thymoquinone content can vary wildly between products. Some studies found a 27-fold difference in quality between different brands. Look for products that list the Thymoquinone percentage, ideally at least 2%. Sixth, the Epsom salt should be plain, pure magnesium sulfate with nothing added. Look for the USP designation, which means it meets pharmaceutical standards. If you don't have black seed oil or Epsom salt at home right now, don't worry. I have found trusted, high-quality products that meet these exact standards and link them in the description below so you can get exactly what you need. You can also find them at a reliable local health store near you. Just make sure to check the quality labels I mentioned. Now let me share how to actually do this, based on what Margaret did and what researchers have studied. For the black seed oil, she took about half a teaspoon in the morning, either straight or mixed with a little honey to help with the taste. Black seed oil does have a strong, peppery flavor that some people find intense. Some people prefer to take it in capsule form, though the liquid may be absorbed better. For the Epsom salt soak, she filled a small foot basin with warm water, not hot, just comfortably warm, around 100 to 105 degrees, and added about 2 cups of Epsom salt. She would soak her feet and lower legs for 15 to 20 minutes while reading or watching television. She did this consistently, every single day, for the full 7 days. Consistency seems to be key. One study on black seed oil found that benefits accumulated over time, with more noticeable effects at the 8 to 12-week mark. But Margaret noticed differences much sooner. By day 3, she said her legs felt lighter. By day 5, she was sleeping better because she was not waking up with leg cramps. And by day 7, well, you know what happened at that doctor's appointment. Now I want to address something that I know some of you are thinking. Is this too good to be true? Honestly, I understand that skepticism. We have all seen those miracle cure claims that turn out to be nonsense. But here is the difference. Black seed oil is not some newly invented supplement. It has thousands of years of traditional use and hundreds of modern scientific studies. It is not claiming to cure anything. It is simply a natural compound that may support processes your body is already trying to do. Same with Epsom salt and magnesium. We know magnesium deficiency is common. We know magnesium is essential for muscle and blood vessel function. We know many people feel better when they address that deficiency. The key is having realistic expectations. This is not going to reverse decades of arterial plaque overnight. It is not going to eliminate the need for medications your doctor has prescribed. It is not a magic bullet, but as part of an overall approach to supporting your cardiovascular health, alongside proper diet, gentle exercise, staying hydrated, and following your doctor's advice, it might be a helpful addition. Let me tell you about a few other people who have tried this. Robert, 73, from Florida, told me that after 2 weeks of the Epsom salt soaks alone, his wife noticed that the purple discoloration in his lower legs had started to fade. He was thrilled. Dorothy, 65, from Texas, said she started taking black seed oil and noticed her energy levels improved. She felt less of that afternoon fatigue that had been plaguing her. James, 69, from Michigan, combined both methods like Margaret did and said his doctor was pleased with the improvement in his circulation at his next checkup. And Patricia, 71, from Arizona, told me the biggest change for her was her sleep. She had not realized how much those nighttime leg cramps were disrupting her rest until they stopped. Now I want to give you some additional tips that can help support healthy blood flow. Stay hydrated. This sounds simple, but dehydration can make your blood thicker. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water throughout the day. Move your body. Even gentle walking helps pump blood through your system. Your calf muscles actually act like a second heart, squeezing blood back up toward your chest with each step. If mobility is an issue, there are seated exercises that can help. Elevate your legs when you can. This helps blood return to your heart more easily. Watch your sodium intake. Too much salt can affect blood pressure and fluid retention. Consider compression socks if your doctor recommends them. They can help prevent blood from pooling in your lower legs. And please, please, please keep up with your regular doctor appointments. No natural remedy replaces proper medical care. One more thing Margaret told me that I think is really important. She said the best part was not just how her blood tests improved or how her legs felt better. It was how she felt taking control of her own health. She was not just passively waiting for problems to get worse, she was actively doing something every day to support her body. That sense of empowerment, she said, was worth everything. Now there is one more thing I need to tell you before we finish, and this is something most people over 60 have never heard about. There is a simple test you can do right now at home that might give you a clue about your circulation. Press your fingernail firmly for about 5 seconds until the nail bed turns white. Then release and count how quickly the pink color returns. In healthy circulation, the color should return in less than 2 seconds. If it takes longer, especially 3 seconds or more, it might indicate that blood flow to your extremities is sluggish. This is not a medical diagnosis, but it is something interesting to observe before and after trying any circulation support routine. Margaret told me she did this test before she started, and the color took almost 4 seconds to return. After 3 weeks of her routine, it was under 2 seconds. Her husband Richard noticed the same improvement just from the Epsom salt soaks alone. Now I have a question for you. Are you dealing with circulation concerns? Have you noticed any of the magnesium deficiency symptoms I mentioned? Drop a comment below and tell me what you are experiencing. And here is something important. In my next video, I am going to reveal a common morning habit that millions of people over 60 do every single day that might actually be making their circulation worse. Most doctors never mention this, but the research is clear. Make sure you do not miss that one. I will see you there.